Welcome, everyone, to Spiritual Highways with Michelle.
And Leigh Ann. Oh, well, I have to first start out and say that since episode 5, this has been an amazing week. And I cannot express my sincere gratitude and appreciation and love and thanks that I have for everyone who has shown me nothing but love and support and encouragement and, their blessings with the acknowledgement of my gift. I know that it's something that probably came out of left field for many of you, and the fact that you all have been so open and receptive, it means more to me than you will ever know. And I just I'm overwhelmed in ways that you probably I just can't even express. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing where this journey leads us. I know that Michelle and I were called to do this on for a reason, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people that it's going to help, and we hope you're one of them. So be sure to like and subscribe and to share it. We're on YouTube, iTunes, iCloud. SoundCloud.
SoundCloud,
Sorry, and
Spotify.
oh yeah, every as many platforms as there can be.
We're-
Yeah, please like and share it with your friends if you like what you see.
yeah.
Or you hear, I should say. So thank you again, seriously, from the bottom of my heart. Oh, thank you.
I know it's been a crazy week.
It's been a
Crazy
wow.
awesome.
Oh yeah,
Just, yeah, it's just been,
humbling,
very
overwhelming.
humbling.
Yes.
Um, I, I think for those of you that are just joining us and you haven't listened to episode 5, I encourage you to do that. And maybe we were thinking, looking back at our episodes, maybe start with 5 and work your way backwards.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of great information in all of them, but 5 is a really good place to start. And we apologize for the audio in the first, second, and third, but we were working out our kinks as we are new to this.
Right.
So Leigh Ann
Mm-hmm.
has a gift. She can connect with loved ones that have passed on, and she delivers those messages, and she's embraced it, and we are also grateful for that. The healing that you have brought to people and will bring to people is monumental, and I feel like we need to maybe do a part 2 to that episode. We've had questions come in. There's some general questions that I want to use in this episode to
Sure.
maybe expand on your gift a little for people so they can understand it a little bit more.
Absolutely.
If that's okay, can we start
Absolutely.
there? Okay.
I'd love to.
Okay, so one of the questions that I got was, how long did Leigh Ann know she had the gift before she embraced it? So how long?
Well,
What did that look like for you?
yeah, and that would be a good way to put it, is what it looks like, because it's not something that you just pop up one day and it's there. It's something that was a slow progression of things. I guess even from when I was a little girl, it wasn't even until now that I look back and I understand those things now, but at the time I didn't. But it was all in preparation. And what I mean by that specifically is like, I remember seeing orbs above my closet door as a child, which I didn't know that that's what it was at the time. I just kind of put it as, oh, it's something that's there, and I took it for what it was. And then later on, that kind of switched to look more like visions. And what I mean by visions is it's like seeing a memory that's not your own. And I know I've said that in the last podcast, but that's really what it is. And it's beginning to trust what that looks like. And I guess to be more specific for that, it would be if I had a memory of, say, you, Michelle, and I would go to you and say, hey, does this make sense to you? And you say, yeah. And so that kind of shifts, and so it was little things, kind of salt and pepper, all over since from the time I was younger, and then which manifested into the memory of what, like I just said. And once I began to trust what I was receiving and realizing that what it was going to look like, um, that's when I really started to embrace it, so to speak. So, I mean, it was a slow progression of things that added up over time, and recognizing signs and symbols that, you know, there's only so many synchronicities that can happen to you before you're like, okay, you've got my attention. And they definitely did that.
Wow. Um,
So it was a while.
yeah, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of internal work for yourself.
Yes, yes, I would totally agree with you there. And but it never felt like work. It was always kind of an exploration type thing of trust, and I'm so grateful for it. And I know that there's been times where it challenged me in ways that I never thought possible, but they were good challenges, and they really made me dig deep to see what it was that I was supposed to do, and what it was going to look like. But it's what's most important is it was not anything that I had to push. It just happened, and the information that I needed seemed to, and it still happens this way. The information that I need just happens to fall into my lap, and then it seems like within days or weeks, I'm having to refer back to either a lesson or something that I just learned, and even books. One of my most favorite people that really helped guided me through this was Edgar Casey. And although our paths were much different, I was learning based on a lot of the things he made. Those things that he experienced made sense to me on a different level, but made sense to me. So I'm very grateful in the sense that I am here during this time in our world, in our life, because years back this would have been very unacceptable or not accepted as much. And I
Right.
mean, hundreds of years. I mean, look at Salem witch trials.
Right.
There was a lot different time back then. So I'm very grateful in the sense that people were more open and receptive to it too. And
Absolutely.
the information is out there is really what I mean. The
And
information.
understanding it comes from a good place. I mean, you say, and I hear you say it when you give people a message or you're telling them what you do. You can only connect with those that walk in God's light. And I
Right.
think that's very important for people to understand that you have drawn the boundary of, if you do not walk in God's light, you are not getting in.
Right.
Like, I will not hear you, see, it's just not going to happen. And I think that's really important for people to understand, is that your faith has guided you.
Absolutely. I was born and raised Catholic, and you know, um, they look at it as two different sides of the fence. You either, or it's either a good thing or it's not a good thing, and that did make it a challenge for me to be able to accept my gift. But I know that now that challenge was for me to dig deep and to so that I would have no doubt whatsoever whenever I did accept it. I had gone through the research and I had looked up everything that I possibly could read. I had to understand
Right.
that in its full capability.
Well, and from where I see it, is that you're helping people heal, and that is such a gift, and such a blessing. And so it has to come from a good place, because it's something good is happening.
Absolutely, and that was very important to me, and that's still the most important thing to me, is that I only can communicate with those that walk in God's white light. Now, I'm going to say this: that doesn't mean that I don't know that there's something. I believe where there's darkness, there's light, um, but I also know what boundaries that I'm willing to cross. So I'm not a fool into thinking that there's only light. but I also know where I get my information and where my source comes from, which makes a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, okay, this is interesting because
Okay.
I hadn't thought of this, and I'm like, wow, I hadn't thought of asking her that. So this is a good question. How do you know who a message is for?
Well,
Like, I know you know if someone comes in and they're sitting in front of you,
mhm.
but if you're out in public, and we've talked about this in other podcasts, so that's interesting that someone picked up on that. How do you know?
Well, sometimes it takes a little while. Sometimes the person that the message is for, I will make eye contact with, and my eyes will just keep going back to that person, going back to that first person, repeatedly, and then other times, it it takes a while. And when I mean what it looks like, I guess to paint a picture would be. Like to see spirit in my mind's eye, and they're around like a group of people. And sometimes it takes me a moment of, if there's two people sitting next to each other and I'm unsure, either I'll, once I tell them what's happening and whatnot, I'll either say, I'm just going to give you your information, and then y'all can kind of just determine between yourselves who it belongs to. I'm just just the messenger. Or I can also ask spirit to separate themselves, which I have to do on a regular basis because they do tend to like to travel in herds, or everybody wants to get their voice heard. And so a lot of times, often, I should say, I'll tell them, okay, you go here, and let's separate. Take it one at a time, guys. And I know it sounds funny, but
You
that's
need to
how it
create like
works.
a spiritual take a number.
Right, right. It's true.
You
Sometimes,
need to get a mental take a number.
oh yeah, and they're not always patient.
Right. Well, they've
Your
probably
soul,
been waiting a while
yeah.
to get their message
In some
across.
cases, yeah, and and they're when you pass, your soul is still your soul. So if Uncle Henry was pushy, in the physical, he's gonna be pushy in the spiritual world. I promise you. So there's that. I hope
That's
it
too
answers your
funny.
question.
No, I think so. I mean, it's not a question I'd thought of, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's interesting. Um, okay, this was another question that came through in a general capacity. Are you ever surprised, like when you give information to someone and then they validate it, or maybe days later come back and validate it? Does it ever surprise you?
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. It blows my mind. It every single time. I still can't it and I mean that with all sincerity. It there's never once that I say, "Oh, that doesn't surprise me," because no, it still blows my mind that I'm able to know the things that they show me. And yeah, I honestly feel like the day that it stops surprising me is the day that I no longer need to communicate with spirit, for sure. But no, they blow my mind, and just when I think, oh my goodness, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Nope, something else crazy, happens, and so they're always surprising me, and I'm very grateful for that, for
It's
sure.
probably humbling a little too. Like, I
Oh,
mean, like it's
absolutely.
a huge pat on the back. Like, well done. I got the right message out. I interpreted it
Hmm.
correctly and I gave it. But also, like, wow, can't believe I did that.
It takes my breath away. It
Yeah.
really, and oh,
I
it
do
does.
have to share, and maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to anyway because it was very powerful. Um, and no details. But you had given a message to someone that was dealing with some pain, and you were in tears because of the response that this person got
Oh.
and you were like, shh, they're being healed, like they are healing, and and now they're going to, be able to breathe. And you were like, it was, you were crying, like big tears were rolling down your cheeks as you were telling me, I'm so happy for them that they're healing. And the validation didn't come immediately. It was like a couple of days later that it came full circle for you, and it almost like took your knees out from under you. You were I just never seen you so emotional about it. And you're crying right
I
now
know.
thinking about
I know
it.
exactly which one you're talking about too. Um, it's because it was something that, although I didn't know this person, it was something that touched really close to home for me. But not only did it, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry.
It's
I
okay.
just thought it was such a pure moment of your work.
Well, it wasn't my work; it was God's work.
But you have accepted it. You've accepted the task. Noah built the ark. God told him to, but Noah did build it. And so God's telling you to do this work, and so you're doing it. And so
that that was and thank you for saying that. But it was a very when you sit across from somebody, spirit can often allow me to feel the person's emotions, whether it be the person that passed or the person that's sitting in front of me. I can feel sometimes they'll allow me to feel their pain and to feel their hurt. And in this case, I did. And it was very familiar to me. And so days later, when I realized that the information that I'd given this person through spirit and through God's will, when I saw them able to apply it, you can give a lot of information. They give a lot of guidance, and a lot of people don't take it.
right.
And which is, for them, we all have free will and you can do what you want. But when she took it and then she healed from that in a very, very powerful and vocal way, it was, and I hate to be so vague, but I just
No, because
yeah,
it's
it's a very
details
personal.
are
But
yeah,
the
we don't
point
want to.
is that spirit was able to give them some guidance and say, here's how to go on, and here's how to take your grief and make it into something that can be beautiful. And that person did exactly what spirit guided them to do, and the healing was so obvious, and the outpouring from that was so beautiful that was so humbling.
And you're crying
I am
again.
so it was very emotional.
I
It
think when you
still
talk
is.
about it, do you feel those emotions
Oh
again?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's humbling. It's a very humbling, special moment to know that you were a part of that.
Yeah.
A part of that.
I think that's why it's so important that we're doing this. And because I think a lot of people are going to find healing, and that's why we've jumped in,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm holding your hand.
Ah,
So you're
this
not
is
alone on this river.
no way. It's been a beautiful journey. It really has. It really. One question that a lot of people ask me, I don't know, you may even have it written down, is it ever a burden to me? Do I ever get tired of it? Does it ever weigh me down? And the answer is absolutely not. It feeds my soul in ways that I could never else ever compare it to, or get it filled any other way. It's never a burden when I am able to witness someone. That's like asking a fireman, is it ever a burden to go in and save somebody's life with a burning building? I know that maybe that's a
No, they don't think twice. They just
no,
run
right. And I'm not comparing myself I guess I am, but just as an
in a
analogy,
different way.
in a
Yeah.
different way, I would never. It fills me. It fills my cup,
Well, you've really
and
approached it with a servant's heart.
well, but I mean it. I mean
No, I
that
know
with
you
all
do.
sincerity. Like
I know you
it's
do.
never been a burden. it's come to me, and it's blessed me in ways that I never thought possible. So for that, I am eternally grateful and would never look at it as a burden ever.
That's awesome. And I
It's
see it
strengthened
as
my
a beautiful
faith.
gift. Yeah.
It's faith. It has definitely strengthened my faith. Not that I mean, I've always been a faithful
No,
woman, but it
what we
really has.
always are looking for ways to strengthen our faith.
Right, right.
Um, so thank you for being. I didn't mean to make you
No,
cry.
no, no, no.
I'm
It's
so
it's a
sorry.
good emotion.
I
It's a
know
good,
it was.
it's a good
It is a
cry.
good. It is a good cry. It is a good cry. Um, I, I think we need to maybe let people know, like, what are our plans moving forward.
But before we do that, if anybody's interested in asking a question, I am more than welcome. You're more than welcome. We have
Oh, we did. We have a form.
Yeah.
If you go to spiritualhighways.com and let it load, a form will pop up and you can put in your question and ask Leigh Ann whatever you want. It can be a general question or it could be a very specific question. And then you can read them in
Yeah.
our podcast.
Right, right.
And answer them for you.
Absolutely.
And
it'll be if we can keep it. I'll read the question and I'll read your name, so it will be kept confidential. Nobody has to know. If it
we'll
was
just
you.
use your first name.
Yeah.
Or if you want us to use a different name, that's fine too. Just let us know in the body of the question.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We don't. I don't think you need someone's real name to
No. Not at
to
all.
get the information.
No.
And so that's one way for you. And then another way is also you can use that form to ask Leigh Ann to book a session with her. Again.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and say this is that I'm more than welcome. You're more than welcome to fill out the form, and if you want to sit down with me, either in person or via phone, I will say this: I don't make any promises. I don't ask for it, but I'll sit down with you and I'll do my opening little speech that I like to give that tells about my gift. And if it's within God's will that someone comes through, then they will. I've had it's not very often that I've had about 3 times in the past 6 years that they said that it wasn't the right time. So that's not left up to me. So I can't guarantee you anybody will come through, but that's how I work. And you're more than welcome to ask me a question or book an appointment. So I welcome you to it.
Wonderful. We definitely think that she can help so many people.
Yeah. So what was our vision?
Yeah. Well, we talked about you had mentioned the common themes that you kind of felt.
Absolutely. I feel like throughout all of this journey with Spirit, there is a constant theme, a core lesson, I feel like, that can be learned through each message, but interpreted differently without the details, And so, but the core lesson or the core thing that most people can gain from, your details will look different. Like, your message will be different than so-and-so's message, but some of them do ring true and can be applied through many people's journeys. So
like the root cause of the issue. Okay.
Whether it be healing or whether it be how to look at things differently or through different eyes or different little just differences that can make a difference in other people's lives. And so that's one thing that I feel like we're gonna do is take those little lessons from Spirit, and I can share with you how to apply it to your life, and that's what I hope that we can do together and to grow from that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
I think really we can do a lot of good work.
Oh, absolutely. With this special lady next to me, the sky's the limit. That's for sure. She's the actual brains of this operation. I don't know about that. She makes things happen because, I couldn't do it without her. That's for sure. We're definitely a team that I feel so blessed to have her and she guides me in so many ways, and she keeps me grounded and tells me, she's my she's definitely my spirit guide, so to speak. So it was definitely a divine intervention that we're together. So
I agree with that.
yep, yep. So,
I agree with that.
but I hope after the first of the year, we're gonna
Yeah, we'll
check,
be back. We're gonna,
do some changes and some updates, and
yeah,
we're growing, and I hope that you guys stick around and grow with us. And we hope to fill your cup, continue to fill your cup.
yep. And honestly, your feedback fills ours. So
That's
it's
right.
a little loop, a continuous loop of filling each other's cups.
Yep, yep.
Um,
We're the
oh yeah, where the journey is just as important as the destination.
Yep. Well said. Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Well,
Well,
guys, it's been another episode, and Leigh Ann, thanks for being so honest with everybody and open. And I mean, you're always honest, but it's just you've bared your soul 2 episodes in a row now, and I really appreciate it because I really think it's helpful for everyone to hear the details and understand and know that you're accessible
yeah.
and how to reach you and
Well, it's helped me a lot too. It's nice to. It's never been a secret. It's never been something I was ever ashamed of or embarrassed about. But it's really nice to be able to. I'm a very open person, and so it's like it's nice to be able to just
just
be open and bear it all.
yeah.
That's me. I feel more comfortable with that. So I thank you again for all your love and support, and you guys have been so amazing and overwhelming, and I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. I love you all, and I appreciate it very much.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, after the first of the year. God bless.
God bless y'all. Bye.
Bye.